This session is the continuation of the last session. In the last session, we were discussing about the condition of reciprocity of two-port networks. That is, if we give a excitation in the input port, we get a response at the output port, and the ratio of excitation to response is same as that when their positions are interchanged. That is reciprocity theorem. So here we have found the Vs by I2 dash of this circuit. That is, when the Vs is applied at the input and the response is got at the output side. So next we are going to evaluate the Vs by I1 dash of this circuit. That is, when the positions are interchanged. So let's go for that. Here I have redrawn the circuit. I have written the equations once more. Here we have V1 is 0. V1 is 0. There is no input voltage. Now coming to V2. V2 is Vs. And I1 is minus I1 dash. Now we can put these values in these two equations. That is, 0 is equal to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2, and V2 is equal to Vs. Vs is equal to Z21 I1 plus, here it's I1 dash minus I1 dash minus I1 dash, here also Z22 I2. Here we need an equation in terms of Vs and I1 dash. So from the first equation we will get I2 in terms of I1 dash. Now the second equation, put that I2 in terms of I1 dash in the second equation, and thus we will get an equation in Vs and I1 dash alone. So let's go for that. From the first equation, I2 is equal to Z11 I1 dash by Z12, minus sign will go, and let it equation number 3. So now we can put this equation in equation 2. Let us put 3 in 2. So we can write Vs is equal to minus Z21 I1 dash plus Z22 into I2. I2 is, we have got Z11 I1 dash divided by Z12. So from this we will get Vs by I1 dash is equal to minus Z21 into Z12, taking this here, plus Z22 into Z11 divided by Z12. This was the Vs by I2 dash we got earlier. That is Z12, Z22 minus Z12 into Z21 by Z21. Now we have got Vs by I1 dash as minus Z21, Z12 plus Z22 into Z11 divided by Z12. So we can find that both are same. Okay. See in the denominators here, Z21 and Z12 is here. So for a network to be reciprocal, Vs by I1 dash is equal to Vs by I2 dash. So we can obtain the condition here that for this to occur, Z21 should be equal to Z12. Only then a system can be said to be reciprocal. Okay, we have found Vs by I1 dash and Vs by I2 dash separately, and we got two equations. Okay, this was almost similar but not equal. We have got the denominators as different. Okay, that is Vs by I1 dash is equal to Vs by I2 dash should be equal to Vs by I2 dash for a system to be reciprocal. So, for a system to be reciprocal, the condition is Z21 should be equal to Z12. This is the condition for a system to be reciprocal. Next, in Z parameter, we have to find the condition for symmetry. For a system to be symmetrical, the thing is that the voltage to current ratio at one port should be same as the voltage to current ratio at the other port, with one of the port open circuited. That is the condition for symmetry. Okay, that is, once more, the V by I, the voltage to current ratio at one port should be same as the voltage to current ratio at the other port, with one of the ports open circuited. This is the condition for symmetry. Okay, so here we can verify the two conditions. First of all, let us consider the circuit. When the output port is open circuited. Case 1, when the output port is open circuited. The case when the output port is open circuited. We can draw the circuit like this. This is the input is given. This is the input current. The output current is 0. Okay. So, here we have V1 as Vs. I2 is 0. And V2 is also not there. Okay. So, V2 is not given. So, we can write Vs is equal to Z11 I1. Okay. So, we will write Z1 Vs by I1 is equal to Z11. Second case, when input port is open circuited. Second case, when input port is open circuited, we have got a circuit like this. At the output, we have applied the voltage and we have got a current, and the input port is open circuited. Okay, so we can go for like this. In this equation, V2 will be equal to Vs and I1 is 0. Here when input port is open circuited, we have V2 as Vs, I1 as 0. So we will have Vs is equal to Z22 I2. That is Vs by I2 is equal to Z22. Okay. So we have got the Vs by I1 and Vs by I2 equations. So the condition for symmetry is that these two should be equal. The condition for symmetry is that Vs by I1 and Vs by I2 be equal. It is possible only if Z11 be equal to Z22. For the condition for symmetry is Z11 equal to Z22. This is the condition for symmetry. Okay. We have seen the condition for reciprocity, that is Z21 should be equal to Z12. That is the ratio, these ratios be equal and should be equal for the to satisfy the condition for reciprocity. So we finally got Z21 should be equal to Z12 for the system, for the network to be reciprocal. And for a system, for a condition for symmetry is that Z11 be equal to Z22. Okay.